Welcome back to the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. So, Jay, this is always a topic that I don't really like to address, but since Gervonta Davis is now talking about this, we have to say something about it, right? And I want to preface my comments by stating something that I've stated in the past, which is I don't believe any of these gentlemen are cheating. There's no evidence, in my opinion, that they're cheating because personally, I don't see extraordinary power out of either one of these gentlemen. Specifically with Terrence Crawford, I just felt that it was Spence that looked weak and not Terrence Crawford that looked extraordinarily strong. But with that said, Gervonta Davis went on a series of tweets earlier today, man. And it's crazy. And I'm looking, I'm not going to go to his Twitter because a lot of times he deletes his tweets. So he starts off with saying, we need to get this Snac shit out of boxing. So right there, he's questioning Snac. The next statement came from him was, let's see. The next statement was, did he or did he not get caught cheating before? Them Snac people, right? Which is true. He's talking about Victor Conte. We know he got caught. Then he started talking about Eddie Hearns and Ben and all of this stuff. Now, he hasn't said anything specifically about Devin Haney or Terrence Crawford, but at the end of the day, they're kind of like the poster children right now for Snac. We know Andre was on Snac. We've heard people make these jokes that he must have got the synthetic stuff or the bad stuff or the generic stuff or whatever joke you want to make in regards to Snac. The great value version, whatever. We've heard all of these comments, but no one is above cheating, right? And we know that there are athletes that are still in the game that cheat. LeBron James. And so we need to continue. We need to make sure that's a joke, guys. That's a joke, kind of. But we need to make sure that, that these sports are clean. And specifically in a sport like boxing, Jay, because boxing is such a dangerous sport. You know what I mean? Like those guys are putting their lives on the line. And don't get me wrong, they're being handsomely compensated for doing so. But regardless, they're putting their lives on the line to get in that ring. And so I can understand the concern coming from any boxer in terms of, fighters being on any type of supplement that may help them, gain a competitive advantage. But man, I can tell you, there's a reason why you don't see too many athletes now getting busted for being drug cheats. It's because when you think about it, the things that are currently out there, Jay, are so sophisticated. And Jay, I know you're aware of this, not only from your time as being a personal trainer, but as your time being a steroid cheat yourself, that there's so many things. But Jay, no, all seriousness, there's so many things that are out there right now that you can process out of your system in a matter of hours that make it so challenging to actually catch anyone cheating. Because if you believe that there's no cheating going on in any sport right now, you're sadly mistaken. You're sadly mistaken. And you rarely hear about anybody getting caught in a steroid or any kind of PED scandal these days. So I can understand the concern from any boxer or whatever. But I'm not going to plant my flag and say that, a Crawford because he's associated with Conte or a Devin Haney because he's associated with Conte that they're automatically cheating. But not only that, man, this is the United States of America. Everybody gets a second chance. I'm not going to condemn somebody because they did something wrong before, as long as he's being monitored in regards to what's in his Snac performance and or people are really, just keeping an eye on what he's doing. Then I have no problem with him being in any sport. To be quite honest with you, that's just, my personal opinion. Maybe I'm wrong about it. I know some people are going to disagree with that, but I just can't condemn somebody for making a mistake and condemn them for the rest of their life because they made a mistake in regards to, their profession. So I'm not going to do that. But at this point, it has to be addressed, right? It has to be addressed. And because now fighters are addressing it publicly. So Jay, what's your thoughts on this, man?
Yeah, it's interesting. We know, just by following the sport and following events that took place today that came out as far as breaking news, we know we got an idea what Tank is kind of alluding to without saying certain names.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
To your point, we never talked about Bud being on it. We cracked jokes, and even if we stopped cracking jokes, because we don't
we've
want
never really even
anyone.
cracked
We
jokes.
want people.
We never really
Yeah,
even cracked jokes like
it's
that.
talking. Yeah, I mean, even then we pull back from that because we don't want people thinking that we're actually going into that side because there's no proof of it. But to say people that might not be cheating, that's just crazy because people cheat all the time. They find ways of getting around it 24/7. But as far as Bud's fight against Spence, Haney's fight against Prograis, it was their skills that won in that fight. It wasn't any Snac or PD, anything like that, because it hasn't been proven that either one did anything. But to clean up the sport just in general, I'm all for that. I'm all for every sport being cleaned up for that matter, especially boxing or a combat sport where you're putting your life on the line. Someone can be cheating, that could end you, could change your life forever, take your life or change your life forever with the wrong punch from them cheating. So I mean, that definitely needs to be out of there. On that, they just need to continue to keep the sport clean and keep all the testing going to make sure no one's cheating out there as much as possible, and give people a fair shake. Some people might not know, it just makes those fighters have to be really on top of everything they're consuming, whether it's water, where they got to see where to get the water from, to everything they eat. So I'm all for a clean sport. I understand what Tank is saying on that, especially, as far as what the stuff with Conor Ben was going on. He's the only one of the three that he mentioned, or the person that he mentioned in his tweet storm and alluding to, I guess, a Devin or anyone else involved with Snac. Conor Ben was the only one that really had some questionable samples that came out and everything, and he still can't even fight yet because he hasn't been approved fully because of that. So I'm all for a clean sport, man. That's in any sport, especially boxing.
Same here, man. Definitely want the sport to be clean. Hopefully, these guys or Snac, they are legitimate. There's I don't have proof that they're illegitimate. I don't have proof that they're legitimate. I'm not gonna go there in either case because at the end of the day, we don't have the proof, and I hate pointing fingers at people without any evidence that they are doing something. Now, I don't mind casting doubt when I see something that doesn't necessarily look right to me, and I'll be honest with you. If Errol Spence came to the ring and he looked powerfully strong and his balance looked good, his coordination looked good, he looked good walking to the ring, he didn't look sleepy prior to the fight, then I would, and then of course the other information that we had. But if just without that information in terms of the rib injury, if he had just walked in the ring, he looked good, looked physically like right when he was even starting off the fight. I said right from the beginning, he looks a little off, like his balance looks off. And I hadn't even seen the fact that, I hadn't seen the interview. Remember, I had to step away. So I just felt that Errol just looked kind of weak. Not that Terrence looked super strong. And the other thing about that was I saw Errol land clean on Terrence Crawford and he didn't hurt him. That tells me even more so that Errol just wasn't strong that night, and not necessarily that Crawford was extraordinarily strong. So that's the reason why now if Crawford was just coming in there, man, and just every freaking punch he threw, man, it was just like clobbering a Spence that looked freaking strong, then yeah, now, I might question that performance, but I just didn't see that. So you guys tell us what you think in the comment section in regards to this. Don't forget to hate, like, comment, and subscribe. This is the Angry Man Podcast, AM Sports Media, and we are